95, 56, 95, 56. 54.
Go.
A first carry now. This is Alvin Kamara. It'll go as a loss of a yard on the game's first play. Second down.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game, so what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, he breaks
nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The tank, DeMarcus Lawrence with a sack.
2 plays so far, a run and a pass attempt, and both have gone backwards.
Probably not how they drew that up.
Not at all.
Looking for a better play coming up on third. On third and long, it's Breeze. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Xavier Woods with a pick, and his crew will take over at their own 45-yard line. He couldn't get the hook up there that time with Thomas.
The Cowboys take over first and 10 at their own 45-yard line.
Good starting field position for them as they come up first and 10 at the 45. Now the first carry for Ezekiel Elliott. And a good pickup there. He gets about 6 up to midfield.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
It's a pickup of 6. Brings up second and 4 at the 50-yard line.
6 yards on that last play. Here's second and 4.
Here we go, D. It's just me and you. It's just go to 54, go to 54. Line.
They'll try the right side with Elliott. And this time not as successful as he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4.
It's now 3rd and 4.
And for the Saints here on 3rd down, an extra defensive back on the field.
Come on. Here we go, 46, 46. Check,
From the shotgun, it's Prescott. And he'll have his man. That's Cooper. And he's got this down to the 35. 14 yards, good for a Cowboy first down. After getting that turnover on the first drive of the game, you'd hate to just stall out the momentum, go 3 and out. They're able to avoid that there.
And we talk about complementary football all the time, but I think it's a little bit deeper than that. Defense went out, forced a turnover, gave the ball to the offense. It's now the offense's responsibility to pay that off for them, to show respect to them. Hey, you guys got the turnover. We appreciate it. They want to continue their drive.
He was brought down by Kiko Alonso. A 6-yard pickup brings up second and 4 at the Saints.
On second down now, it's Elliott. And only able to muster a couple down to about the 27.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively.
Here we go. Watch the pass. Watch the pass. Back. Here we go, 47. Say.
From the shotgun, a give to Elliott. And he will be very close to a first down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means fourth down. It'll be called a gain of 2, and that'll leave them with some options here on 4th and inches. The field goal unit's going to stay put on the sideline. They're going to go on 4th down here. It's a keeper with Prescott. And they will touch him down, but not before he gets the first. They only needed a few inches, and they didn't get much more than that. But by about the width of a shoelace, they convert on 4th down.
First and 10 at the 24-yard line.
What we got?
Prescott to throw this time. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Demario Davis. And he's able to get it back to the 33-yard line. No score after 1 on EA Sports. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. Now, they were intercepted the first time they had the football, but now they get it back, and it's still 0-0.
And because of that, you know what the thought process is? Interception. What interception? It didn't really happen because they gave up no points. So go back on the attack. Go back and run the offense you believe will be successful. Find your playmakers and give them the football.
So from Cowboy territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 41. Breeze now. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. DeMarcus Lawrence able to drop him that time for his 2nd sack of the evening. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with.
Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Chidobe Awuzie with a pick. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line. CD with that incompletion. Let's look at some of the big games week 13. So these are ones that our crew, let me think of the biggest 4. Let's rank them 1 to 4 as far as how big they are and what they mean. Baltimore at Buffalo, San Fran at New Orleans, KC at New England, Seattle at the Rams. How would you rank those? What do you think?
Well, this is going to sound self-serving since I'm working San Francisco and New Orleans, but to me that's the number 1 game because the number 1 seed in the NFC will be determined that week for that moment. Okay, the winner of that becomes the number 1 seed. I think the number 2 game, Seattle at the Rams, because Seattle's trying to maintain pace with San Francisco or become the number 1 team in the NFC West, and the Rams have to have it if they have any designs on making the playoffs. The number 3 game, Baltimore at Buffalo. Buffalo's announced its presence, that big win on Thanksgiving Day over Dallas, but Baltimore's the hottest team, the best team in the league over the last 8 weeks. And then you finish up Kansas City, New England. How is that the number 4 game?
I know.
Hard to believe, but it is in this instance.
Give them 15 there, and the Cowboys have a first.
Big stop, let's go. Switch. So we're going to 53.
First down, Prescott. Flushed out right. Under pressure here, and down he goes. Sacked back at about the 43-yard line. Demario Davis coming in for the sack that time. 2 minutes on the clock in what's been a scoreless first half. We remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll take you to Orlando and Jonathan Coachman. Coach will have highlights and analysis of this first half, one that's featured no touchdowns as of yet on either side.
So his job's a little bit easier for this halftime report.
Need to give the coach some highlights here.
Yes, we do.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Prescott got an open man. It's Michael Gallup. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. 23 yards the pickup there.
First and 10 at the 33-yard line.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33.
I got you, Pop. Hey.
Draw play, Elliott. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. They'll be back at the 36. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be second down.
Watch time, watch time. Tight end right. 4 down. Check.
Throwing on 2nd and 14. Prescott. That's Elliott. Complete. It's a gain of 9 yards. And all of a sudden here, it's 3rd down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Kiko Alonso. CD, while we have a quick second here, I want to give a shout-out to 3 teams who have struggled mightily this year, who all got wins in Week 12. The Dolphins, the Redskins, and for their first win of the season, the Bengals.
How about you? I love your empathy, right? You hate to see teams struggle like this. Hate to see teams that are down. And when they get wins, you come with a little bounce, don't you? You got a little extra spring in your step. Those Bengals, and they beat the Jets, who at the time were hot, right? They won 3 in a row. How about Washington?
And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Chidobe Awuzie with a pick. That late in the clock, 2nd quarter, why not just run it a time or 2 and get it into the locker room?
What you're saying makes absolutely perfect sense. Run it and get out of there. But I'm just wondering if the pressure of today's NFL and the high-powered offenses that you're facing may have forced them into saying, let's try and get some more points.
47.
Following the interception, here's Prescott. And he hits Jason Witten, the tight end. It's a gain of 16 in the Dallas 1st down. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football.
And he's going to be taken down, back around the 35-yard line. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. So 2nd and long, and got to be careful not to fall out of field goal range. Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping. Jumping all the way from the outside, maybe getting a little early start in the corner blitz.
And the only time it makes sense to get that penalty is exactly as you described. Otherwise, he should never get that penalty.
Here we go. Check 56. Hey, check. We're going to 54. Hey, turn it up. Here we go, 47. 26.
A 2nd down throw for Prescott. Caught by Cobb. And with just 4 seconds left in this 1st half, a timeout call. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. From the right hash, this from 33. The kick by Maher is good. That's it for the 1st half. 2 more quarters to go. We'll have plenty more to see after the break. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth, ready for quarter number 3. The Cowboys will get the football first here, and they have the lead as well as we are underway in quarter 3. That's fielded in the end zone. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line.
At their own 30-yard line.
The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the 3rd quarter.
I like the way you term that, because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the 1st half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the 1st half.
We'll see if they do just that.
The 43-yard line.
check, crouch.
Elliott. Weaving through traffic, and now he's free. Touchdown, Cowboys. Ezekiel Elliott, 57 yards. And the Cowboys, they push out in front further. They've done a good job of holding him down in the first half, but he explodes for a big one right there.
Yeah, I got an image in my head of him being surrounded by a bunch of people, really, with ropes and other things trying to keep him locked in. But eventually they got tired too. And just as you noted, he broke out.
And it's a guy that usually you can only keep down for so long. Following the touchdown, here's Marr to kick it away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line.
At their own 23-yard line.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
Throwing again on second down. Breeze. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's third down. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. Out of the backfield, that's complete to Kamara. And they work this well upfield across the 45. It's a gain of 26 as they pick up the first down in the process. On 1st and 10, here's Breeze. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked off by the linebacker, Jalen Smith. And he takes this one back into the end.